this video is for my current freshmen to help you prepare for Monday's test. And I want to go over a few things about your studying habits and then also touch on some specifics that will help you for Monday. So my first question would be, what is your study environment? And ideally, it would be a place where you could be uninterrupted for periods of time. It doesn't have a lot of extra noise or sounds and not having people also interrupting you. And if you live in a busy household, that could be hard to do. So a desk or a table in a quiet location, and then some way that you can maybe let other people know that you need 20 minutes or 30 minutes of study time, and you can even put a friendly little note on your door letting people know what you're up to. And I also really recommend not having your phone in easy access. It's helpful, I think, to set a timer for your studying time. And the reason why I like doing that is because, especially if it feels like a tedious task, you can tell yourself you can do anything for 20 minutes. And then you set your timer for 20 and really focus. Gradually, you can probably lengthen that, maybe get to 30 minutes. And then after that period of time is over, allow yourself a 5-minute break. We'll talk more about how much time you should be spending a little bit later. The other thing, definitely turning your phone to silent, except for, of course, your timer should still be going off. Maybe put it in do not disturb mode, which I think could be really helpful. Next, when we talk about reviewing your notes, I sort of broke this down to emphasize the idea. It's a review. You viewed it once before and now you're viewing it again. So you want to review a couple of different things. You want to think about the story elements themselves. What's going on in the plot? What are the key details? Who are the main characters? How are you going to do that? You have your sticky notes that you made, your annotations. So you're going to go through and read your annotations. If you get to one where you're not really sure what you wrote there or what purpose it serves, quickly scan through that page in the actual text to see what's happening on that page. This will help you review the details of the story and get those pieces straight in your mind. So the annotation is very helpful. There may be some good study guides on the web. I often recommend maybe Cliff Notes or Spark Notes, not as a instead of reading the book, but it can be useful in terms of understanding a chapter that maybe you missed something or you weren't sure about a particular event or you got sort of confused. They also often have good, thoughtful questions to inspire some critical thinking. We'll be doing more of that with the Pearl next week. The chapter sheets that I've been giving you, one for every single chapter, make sure you have them all. I have extras. Ask me if you need one. You may have quite a few that don't have any answers. I'm not collecting those, but that is a good source for you to figure out what kinds of questions, what are teacher-like questions that might show up on a test. And last, I think it's really helpful to find a person or a couple of people to study with. Maybe you can do this online at a particular time over the weekend, or maybe you can actually physically get together for an hour and review your notes. And especially using your study buddy to look at your chapter sheets. Do you guys have the same answers? If not, what do you have? Can you support it with specific notes or specific items in the actual book? Review your vocabulary. Because we've been studying the vocabulary a little bit separately, there won't be a big list of vocabulary words with you needing to figure out what the definitions are. However, some of the vocabulary that we've been learning and talking about in class may show up in a question. So you'll want to review some of the common vocabulary that has been appearing in the text so that you will be familiar with it when it shows up on the test. It may also be helpful just in understanding what you're looking at. Review the literary terms. We talked about what a protagonist is. You have the elements of the plot diagram. So where's the climax? What's the resolution? What is the rising action? Different events according to when they happen. And Kino is the one we're following, what's happening in his life as we move along. This was a long time ago. We watched a biography of John Steinbeck. You took some video notes. Look at those notes. If your notes are not too good, maybe go online and quickly read a biography of John Steinbeck. Some of the copies of the books also have a little author blurb. That could be very helpful. And then how much time, finally? I would say a half an hour each night before Monday, or a half an hour during the day. And if you've been getting 100s on the pop quizzes and 100s on the annotations and you feel very comfortable that you know this book, maybe a little bit less. If you sort of got stuck and shortchanged yourself and didn't do as much reading, you might actually want to increase it beyond the half an hour. And last, I always like this little saying that proper planning prevents poor performance. Do remember that if you put the time in, then it will work for you. And if you have other questions, I will be available after school Thursday for a help session. And I will probably be online on Sunday evening, so you could email me some questions if you have any questions on Sunday evening. And then of course you can always re-watch this video again and think about what are the steps that you can take to be in control of your grade and your test. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.